Tonight, it's the veteran and the prospect as heavyweights prepare to swing on the star. And another cordial welcome to Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. I'm your host, Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal, joined as I always am by our boxing analyst, the great boxing writer, and man known in a few neighborhoods around New York, Steve Farhood. Steve, tonight, Robert Wiggins, who was arguably in our fight of the year last year on Star Boxing against Nick Nurse, coming off a bit of a layoff, but looks like he's in great shape tonight.
Wiggins is in good shape. He's 32 years old, undefeated. 32 isn't that old for a heavyweight, but clearly he has to get started. No more layoffs. Get in the ring, score some knockouts, and raise some eyebrows.
All right, he, of course, is the prospect we were talking about. The veteran is Tim Knight. Don't let this record fool you. We're calling him the born-again heavyweight, has won his last 2 out of 3, including an impressive win over Shane Sutcliffe.
Well, records in boxing are very deceiving. Tim Knight doesn't have a great record, but he's been in with about 10 world champions. Clearly, for Wiggins, this is a step up in class.
All right, interesting matchup, and we'll be back with our first bout on Star Boxing after these words. Boxing is brought to you tonight by Gatorland, Orlando's fastest growing family attraction. Virkusboro Hotels. Next time you're in Vienna, try the Virkusboro. And by Vivo Restaurant Bar and Caterers, the finest Italian food in Queens. Taking a look right there at Tim Knight, came into the ring carrying a Bible. Don't let his record of 16-40 fool you. He's won his last 2 out of 3 fights, including a big upset win over Shane Sutcliffe and a very close decision loss to former world champion Adolfo Washington. He's from Louisville, Kentucky, which was also the home of former heavyweight Greg Page, who's right now is in critical condition in a hospital. He had these thoughts today at the weigh-in concerning Page and Louisville.
And, it's a shame when things like that happen in boxing, but that's what happens in that profession. That's what boxing brings, It can bring you success. It can also bring you damage, providing you take the wrong fights or take too much punishment in any fight.
All right, now making his way to the ring, a familiar sight to Star Boxing fans, Robert Wiggins, lefty out of East Providence, Rhode Island, 9-0, 1 draw, 6 knockouts. If you didn't see that fight with Nick Nurse last year on the Star, boy, then you missed a great fight. Arguably the best fight of the year on Star Boxing last year. Supposed to be in a rematch tonight. What did he think about his level of competition tonight with Tim Knight? He had these thoughts.
Well, you take it as it comes. Yes, in a way I'm disappointed, but then again, no. I'll take it either way. It was a great battle. He's a good puncher. He's a strong guy. And myself included, I'm a pretty decent puncher too. But you got to take the fight the way it comes. And if it don't, maybe we'll meet up with him 6 months, another year from now. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not disappointed, really. We'll just take on someone else until we get up to the bigger and better fights.
All right. Getting ready right now as you take a look at big Robert Wiggins, and the man with the official decision and the official introductions, as always, here on Star Boxing, is ready to tell us. Mark Bureau.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing presents 8 rounds heavyweights. Your referee for this event is Tony Chirantano. Introducing the principals first, in the red corner to my left, wearing the red trunks with the white trim, he weighs in at 206 pounds, a veteran of over 50 professional bouts, and hailing from Louisville, Kentucky, here is Tim the Anointed Knight. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the all-black trunks, weighing 214 pounds. He is undefeated in 10 professional bouts with 1 draw and 6 wins by way of knockout. He hails from East Providence, Rhode Island. Here is Robert Freight Train Wiggins. 8 rounds, heavyweights.
Timmy, Robert, you received instructions early. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands. Keep your punches up. Good luck. Touch them up.
Okay, Steve, considering that Knight beat Shane Sutcliffe back in January of last year, how do you handicap this fight?
Well, you have to go by more than one fight, and at this point in Robert Wiggins' career, I have to tell you, I'd be disappointed if he not only didn't win, but if he didn't stop Tim Knight.
Tim Knight's been stopped over 10 times in his career, but by the likes of David Isaguirre, now David Izon, Layman Brewster, Hasim Rockman, Robert Daniels, Joel Scott, Carl Thompson. These are household names.
I counted about 10 world champs he's fought, Tim Knight.
And then when he was down at a lighter weight, he actually got knocked out by Vincent Petway, Chris Tiozzo. So he's been in with the best and knocked out by the best. Question is, can Wiggins join that company?
Knight's flashing some fast hands, showing some movement. He is the first fighter, Arnie, I've ever seen in 23 years of covering boxing to carry a Bible into the ring with him. That was unusual.
Not that you could see, anyway. Right now, Knight up on his toes. Is that something? Is that like a Louisville style? That all fighters come out of Louisville have to fight that way?
Jimmy Ellis, Muhammad Ali.
Page
Greg
fought that
Page.
way in his prime.
Well, that's one way to stop movement. Bang to the body. No secret on Wiggins' style. He's about 5'11", would you say? And he's southpaw. He has to just attack because a 5'11" southpaw is almost always going to have height and reach disadvantage.
Having trouble right now cutting off the ring a little bit. The only time he's able to reach Knight is when Knight's laying on the ropes like that. Trying to work the body. Knight just covering up, hoping maybe that Wiggins will punch himself out a little bit.
And look at this. Not only is Knight showing the movement of the Louisville heavyweights, he's doing rope-a-dope like Ali did with Foreman. Maybe Knight's not really a heavyweight. Maybe he's an impressionist. Right now he's doing a little Page, he's doing a little Ali. Here's his Ali.
He's doing it well, too. He covers up nicely. Got those big arms, got those elbows tucked in.
Now it's up to Wiggins. What does he do?
I was going to ask you, Steve,
Yeah.
What does Wiggins do?
Well, one thing you do is you don't punch just to the head. You mix it up, and you don't just wail away. You got to pick your shots carefully because the other guy wants you to waste your energy.
Meantime, though, with this tactic, Knight's not winning the round. Certainly no aggression as we come to the end of the first. Wiggins working the body at the end.
Hey, boxing fans, come out for live boxing. Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing presents Rockin' Fights. For ticket information, go to starboxing.com or ticketmaster.com. See some of the best young fighters. Star Boxing, Rockin' Fights, it's a knockout.
Round number 2, scheduled 8-rounder. Robert Wiggins in the black shorts. Tim Knight in the red and white. And Steve, more of the same here. I was just about to say what went on in the first round, but you can watch here in round 2 and you have a pretty good indication.
Well, the only way that Tim Knight's strategy is going to be a winning one is if Robert Wiggins poops out. And you know what? Robert Wiggins looks pretty calm in there, relaxed. Fights 8 rounds, it's not 10. So that's what Knight has to do. He has to do a little punching.
Keep in mind here, it may be too early to bring this up, Wiggins has never been past 6. Talked to him earlier today about his thoughts on going 8 rounds. He said, no problem whatsoever. And I said, but psychologically, you're going to become a little bit more economical as you get to the halfway point. And he said possibly.
Well, Knight is making it easy for Wiggins to be economical because Knight's not throwing any punches.
His last fight back in October of last year, managed to go to 6-round distance, beating Ron McCarthy down in Pennsylvania on the Star. Tonight, of course, scheduled for 8.
It'd be nice to see what would happen if Tim Knight threw some punches, huh?
Yeah, it would give us something to talk about.
I tell you, judging from what we could see here, Wiggins looks like he's the type of southpaw whose favorite punch is the right hook, not the straight left. That's unusual.
Very unusual. Almost you think he's a converted righty. Remember, John David Jackson converted right-hander to southpaw. Minute to go in the second round. And, this fight can easily go the distance if both fighters fight the fight that they're fighting right now. Knight content to lay on the ropes, block shots, dance around. And Wiggins, although the aggressor, not really able to do much. Keep in mind, also, Knight, a professional sparring partner, Steve.
Yeah.
And you can see the sparring partner syndrome all over him.
Sure. Well, you know what? It's up to Wiggins to make this exciting. I mean, Wiggins is winning the fight.
What about Knight going southpaw right now?
Just another thing for Wiggins to deal with. Let's see if Knight punches from his southpaw stance.
More often than not, fighters get caught in the switch-up. He moves pretty good at southpaw. Now coming to the end of round 2. More of the same, except now Knight giving us a little bit of a southpaw look as he switched back to orthodox at the end of the round.
Can't get enough of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing? Download the Star Boxing TV app or check out our Roku channel to watch exclusive content and classic fights. Every punch, every knockout, every screen. The Star Boxing TV app gives you exclusive access to every moment of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Available on Apple, Android, and Roku. Just search Star Boxing to get in the ring.
No comment. Moving back to southpaw for a second, and now back to orthodox, back to southpaw, back to orthodox, giving us a lot to talk about. Tim Knight right now, he's in the red and white shorts, Robert Wiggins in the black. No knockdowns thus far in the fight.
And Wiggins should be timing that switch. And when Knight is square, drill him with a straight left hand. Again, it's up to Wiggins to make this an exciting fight. He's the prospect. He's the undefeated guy. Looks like he's on his way to winning, but he has to win exciting, not just win.
Well, Knight 5 knockouts in his 16 wins, but you have to go all the way back to January of '93 against Jake Fleming in Kentucky. That was his last knockout. He stopped him in 1 round. Wiggins, of course, a heavy puncher, 6 knockouts in his 9 wins. His last knockout win coming in July against Orion Sistrunk. Knockdown. That's a slip. Referee Tony Charantano wiping off the gloves. Wiggins trying to uppercut through the guard right now.
Not a good idea. That punch is not going to land, especially against a taller opponent. The body punches, that's what I like to see. You do enough of that, and Knight's guard is going to drop. And when Knight's guard drops, then you can hit him upstairs. It's a tough situation for Wiggins, really, because, he can't lose his cool and just bomb away. That's not going to work anyway. All he can do is try to weaken Knight and try to take him out late.
And he can't look good against a fighter like this. But he's really working the body right now. But you wonder, a professional sparring partner like Knight, can he just take the body shots all day long too, Steve?
Probably can.
He was last stopped by Willie Fischer over in Germany. That was back in October of '98. Took 2 years off, and then it's when he became the born-again heavyweight, both spiritually and in terms of career. beating Shane Sutcliffe over a 6-round period. January, came back, beat Jeremy Bates, and lost the disputed 8-round decision to former cruiserweight champion of the world, Adolfo Washington, in March, just 2 weeks ago.
I don't think one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not punch. I'm not sure what Tim Knight's problem is, but he's not trying to win. That's the problem for us.
And in a funny way, it's a problem for Wiggins, because if you're fighting a fighter who's in survival mode from the opening bell, things become very frustrating and become a long night. Coming near the end of the third, though, more of the same, and finally getting a couple of shots in.
Hey, boxing fans, come out for live boxing. Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing presents Rockin' Fights. For ticket information, go to starboxing.com or ticketmaster.com. See some of the best young fighters. Star Boxing, Rockin' Fights, it's a knockout.
Round number 4, scheduled 8-rounder. Robert Wiggins, black shorts. Tim Knight, red and white. No knockdowns thus far in the fight. It's been all Wiggins, as Knight has been in semi-survival mode since the opening bell. Laying on the ropes a lot, tucking in his hands like you see there. Eating the body shots from Wiggins, which is about the only punch that Wiggins has been able to land in the fight. Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Steve Farhood tonight. Wiggins, of course, the unofficial owner of Fight of the Year and Victory of the Year over Nick Nurse in epic battle last March, a year ago. Dan finally got in that short uppercut on the inside, Steve.
I've been hearing about that Nick Nurse fight. I didn't see that fight. I missed that fight. I've been hearing about it ever since. Must have been something.
Be down at the flea market on Saturday. I sell tapes there.
Aha. You probably charged me double, too. Funny thing about this fight, Arndt, I don't know if you agree with me. Tim Knight has the faster hands.
Faster legs, too.
Yeah.
But for some reason, didn't come here tonight to fight.
Well, you said it before, sparring partner mentality. There's a good right hand by Knight. He's doing more fighting this round than he's done in any other round so far.
It's hard for me to believe that his strategic plan is to have Wiggins punch himself out, but could be wrong. Back on the ropes, and Wiggins just teeing off on him.
Wiggins should forget about those uppercuts, just bang the body. It'll discourage Knight, if nothing else.
Why do I feel like I'm in Zaire? Well, I had to digress for a second. It's not called Zaire anymore, is it?
No, it isn't. First it was Belgian Congo, then it was Zaire.
Now it's just Congo?
Yes.
Plain Congo.
I think so.
Not the Congo. Congo.
I think what a lot of fighters found out, and Tim Knight is doing a little bit of it tonight, but when you do the rope-a-dope for an extended period in a 10 or 12, 15-round fight, whatever, what you find out is if you don't have Muhammad Ali's heart, it's not going to work for you. Because he took George Foreman's best shots on the ropes, and Foreman got tired and Ali won. Not anybody else in boxing could have taken those shots. That's why you don't see fighters doing extended rope-a-dope. It's not a good strategy for the average fighter.
Wiggins dropping his hands a little bit right now, and I don't know if he's doing that to try to sucker Knight into a fight, or his hands are finally getting tired because he's throwing such a high volume of shots.
Knight won this round.
Second half, scheduled 8-rounder. Robert Wiggins out of East Providence. He's in black, red and white for Tim Knight. He's out of Louisville, Kentucky. No knockdowns thus far in the fight. And Steve, interestingly enough, you and I both scored the 4th round for Knight, and it seemed that all of a sudden Wiggins' hands coming down a little bit. No knockdown.
They stepped on each other's feet. Yeah, the 4th round, It was this simple. Tim Knight punched. And by punching, he won the round.
Still behind unofficially on our cards, 39-37. Punching again, catches Wiggins walking in with an uppercut.
Knight's experience is showing because he's throwing right-hand leads against the southpaw. It's one of the best weapons against the southpaw. Here's the rope-a-dope again.
Warning from referee Tony Charentano for pawing behind the head to Wiggins. Wiggins' punch output noticeably down since midway in the 4th round.
I don't like the way Wiggins extends that right hand when he's moving around. It's kind of an awkward thing. But if he's going to jab, he has to bring it back before he throws it. So
right
it takes
now,
more time.
And he's finally got the opportunity where Knight's staying in the middle of the ring, ready to fight. Remember, we talked about Wiggins has never been past 6. This is a scheduled 8-rounder, and he said there might be a point in the fight where he says, uh-oh, I'm going to have to get a little more economical here and hold back on my volume of shots because I got to go 8 rounds. This guy's not going anyplace tonight. And Steve, how concerned at this point should Wiggins be if he can't stop the likes of a Tim Knight?
I would say that going in, I thought Wiggins needed a knockout win. Given the way Knight is fighting, I might be a little more forgiving because Knight is fighting a defensive fight, the rope-a-dope. Now he's actually boxing a little bit. His hands are lower. Yeah, I want to see Wiggins stop him. I mean, that's only fair at this point in Wiggins' career if he's going to be a legitimate heavyweight prospect. You want to see him stop the likes of Tim Knight.
Some of those names we mentioned, though, that knocked out Tim Knight were a lot bigger, had big weight advantages over him. And Wiggins not coming in with a major weight advantage, certainly doesn't have a height or reach advantage over Tim Knight. Still on his toes here in the 5th round, though not throwing enough shots.
Can't get enough of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing? Download the Star Boxing TV app or check out our Roku channel to watch exclusive content and classic fights. Every punch, every knockout, every screen. The Star Boxing TV app gives you exclusive access to every moment of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Available on Apple, Android, and Roku. Just search Star Boxing to get in the ring.
Round number 6. Let's see if we get more of the same here, Steve. From Robert Wiggins in black, Tim Knight in red and white. Coming out fighting southpaw this round is Knight. Now, what can he possibly think he's going to accomplish, Steve, by doing that?
I don't know, but Knight hasn't really been consistent at all in the fight. I mean, one round he's rope-a-doping, another round he's dancing from an orthodox stance. Now he's moving to his right from a southpaw stance. Against an inexperienced fighter like Wiggins, you know, that can be can cause problems.
Wiggins, though, showing a lot of poise, not getting taken out of his game plan. Keeps moving. He's not doing something that crazy to try to break through. Almost complacent at this point that this is what he's got this evening. He had been hoping for the rematch with Nick Nurse, which was scheduled tonight, and Nurse pulled out of the fight.
Would have been a whole different kind of fight, huh?
If the first one is any yardstick. Nice short uppercut on the inside by Tim Knight.
Now, do you think Tim Knight is in condition to throw a lot of punches every round, or you think it's more of a mental thing?
Oh, I just think a mental thing right now is Wiggins finally caught him napping. Landed a big left-right combination.
Those shots blocked.
Nice body work now by Wiggins. Knight not even trying to counter those, Steve, or make him pay when he's on the inside.
Boy, doesn't Knight look like Greg Page right now?
It really does, and it's under a minute to go here in the 6th, and it's definitely something about Louisville has you dance like that.
One of Knight's problems when he does punch, he really doesn't commit very much, does he? Not much oomph.
No, and we've said it before, and we'll say it again in this fight. Sparring partner syndrome. Sparred with the best, learned how to survive with them. It doesn't offer much back.
And Knight, you know, he's fought all over the world. He's used to giving fighting just well enough to lose.
Hey, boxing fans, come out for live boxing. Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing presents Rockin' Fights. For ticket information, go to starboxing.com or ticketmaster.com. See some of the best young fighters. Star Boxing, Rockin' Fights, it's a knockout.
Round number 7, scheduled 8 round, and Steve, Wiggins in uncharted waters right now. Never passed 6 rounds before.
He doesn't look like he's ready to fall on his face from exhaustion, though, I'll tell you that. He's very controlled. He's won every round but one on my card.
Identical for me. I've got it 59-55 right now for Wiggins. But I wondered, it may be psychological, but right now, he's someplace he's never been before in the 7th round. He's not throwing any punches.
On cue, there he goes. But you know what? He saved a lot of energy in the first 3 rounds when Timmy Knight was doing the rope-a-dope, and Wiggins was smart. He picked his shots. If he really unloaded there unnecessarily, maybe he'd be pooped now, but I really don't think the pace of this fight has done anything to weaken him.
I don't know. I thought he threw a high volume of punches in the first 3 rounds, probably more than he's used to throwing.
Probably, but back then, Knight was standing still. Now Knight's moving. It's really a little harder.
But he's really not pressing the action at all.
Now, the corner told him stop following him around the ring. Hey, Knight is the faster fighter, hands and feet.
Oh, halfway through the 7th right now. And I got news for you. I think Wiggins is tired.
The way he holds that right hand out there, that would make my right arm tired just doing that.
Well, it's interesting. Although Knight's not very aggressive here right now, he exposed the fact that when he holds that left hand out there, he's open. Excuse me, he holds his right hand out there, he's open for body shots. Right?
Sure, left hook to the body.
Nice left snap back to the head of Knight. Nobody's been on the floor in this fight. Not intentionally, anyway. There he goes, working that body again underneath the extended right hand of Wiggins. A heavyweight that would be a little bit more committed could give him a lot of problems. See, this guy's really starting to slap at it right now, and doing it with ease. Nothing else, give this to Knight. He can go on these legs for the full 8, no problem.
You'd love to see what would happen if Tim Knight was suddenly reincarnated and fought up to his ability, because he's a physically gifted guy.
8th and final round. And mercifully so, Steve. How you seeing it right now?
I have it 6-1 on 5-point lead for Robert Wiggins. You know, it's not like he's done anything terribly wrong in this fight. He just hasn't turned us on, you know? No explosion from Wiggins.
The only thing that's being exposed here, and I think Wiggins, when he watches this tape, if he can learn one thing other than not taking match with Knight again, is that he's very open and vulnerable to that body shot when he keeps that right hand pouring out there. Knight's hitting him at will when he wants to on his right side.
Well, I guess the reason Wiggins does that is as a rangefinder. But again, the problem is if you have your right arm extended as he does and you want to jab, well, you either jab with it extended already, which means you get nothing on the punch, or you pull it back to throw it. That takes longer. So either way, there's a backhand punch from Wiggins. That's not legal.
There's the odd part. Knight's winning this round. You're winning it easily. You get the impression that if he jabbed while he was dancing all night long, that he could have outboxed Wiggins. That he had the legs and the speed.
He's the definition of a journeyman. Loses a lot more than he wins. He's fought in Poland. He's fought in Belgium, France, Italy, Germany. Doesn't fight at home that often. And as a result, I'm sure he's not used to getting decisions, and he's not going to get one tonight either.
First time in the 8th round for Robert Wiggins.
Well, if nothing else, this fight served that purpose for Wiggins. He won 8 rounds. Never did that before.
I think I go back to what I said before. Wiggins put a lot out in the first 3 rounds. And I think he's a little arm weary right now. Knight goes back to the rope-a-dope, something he did for the entire first 3 rounds. Hits that body again on the extended right hand of Wiggins. One more time. And it's amazing how easy Knight's winning this round, Steve.
He's a smart fighter. What he's not is a committed fighter.
Well, it's going to come to an end, and I'm sure Robert Wiggins very happy about that. He'd like to not see Tim Knight again for quite a while. Nevertheless, unofficially, Knight pulling out the 8th round on our cards. Still 78-74 for Robert Wiggins. 6 rounds to 2.
I agree, Arn.
But we're going to be back with our official decision after these words. Stay with us. We're swinging on the star.
Can't get enough of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing? Download the Star Boxing TV app or check out our Roku channel to watch exclusive content and classic fights. Every punch, every knockout, every screen. The Star Boxing TV app gives you exclusive access to every moment of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Available on Apple, Android, and Roku. Just search Star Boxing to get in the ring.
All right. Getting ready right now back at ringside. I believe Mark Bureau's got the official numbers. Let's go up to him for our decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the 3 judges at ringside. Judge Steve Weisfeld and Melvina Latham has scored this bout 79-73, and Judge Julie Letterman scores it 80-72, all to the winner by unanimous decision, Robert Freight Train Wiggins.
All right, well, Robert Wiggins, he's going to improve to 10-0, 1 draw. We won't tell you what Tim Knight's going to drop down to. Both judges seeing it 79-73. Julie Letterman giving it a shutout, 80-72. A little wider than we saw it at ringside at 78-74. But Steve Farhood is up there with Robert Wiggins, and we're going to get a sense of what frustration he had tonight with Tim Knight. Take it away, Steve.
Robert, was going 8 rounds for the first time on your mind?
No, it wasn't, be honest with you, it wasn't. They told me this is going to be a tough fight because the guy's going to just punch and move those jabs. He's just a survivor more than a fighter, and that's what he did. He came to survive. So I knew what was going to happen, just following around and land punches. That's all I did.
Every round he seemed to do something different. One round he was southpaw moving on you, one round he was orthodox, one round he did do rope-a-dope. I mean, was it frustrating?
It was frustrating because he had great, to be honest, but he had great defense. He had his hands up. You could hit him all day in the arms and ribs. He would just block them all with his arms. You just punch yourself to death. You wasn't going to accomplish anything with it. So what I do is trying to look for an opening. If I get an opening, then I try to land it left or something.
Do you always fight with that right arm sort of extended? It's a little weird.
Well, some guys like him that lay back and they keep you frustrated. Keep them from landing punches, keep it out there. That's what I do, is keep it out there. And, the better fighters, the better we fight. If a guy don't come to fight, he makes it frustrating. He puts on a show like that, it's hard to fight. If you get a guy that wants to come in and punch, want to fight, then it's an interesting fight. Makes it a better fight.
Let's bring your promoter in, Joe DeGuardia. Joe, you have an undefeated heavyweight prospect here. Where do you go from here?
Well, got to keep him busy. Been talking to his manager, Jim Casey, about it, talking to Bobby. We want to keep him going, keep him active, keep him steady. And, these types of fights are what he needs. It's an 8-round fight. The guy was very defensive, a tough fight because of his defensive style. But, frankly, you got the 8 rounds in, keep going. And I'm looking to move him up to 10 rounds by the fall. Main event fights, we've been negotiating right now for a fight from an HBO, which will take place around November, December. Everybody knows the opponent. I'll hold off on it because we want to keep him busy, keep him going until we get to that.
All right, Joe DeGuardia, Robert Wiggins.
Let me interject something. This guy had 50 fights. He was a survivor. He didn't come to win the fight. He came to survive. And he's a wily old pro, and he knows how to survive. And he did. Tough guy to fight sometimes. Real tough.
Robert Wiggins, still undefeated. Arnie, back to you.
All right. More to come. We're swinging on the stars. Stay with us.
Hey, boxing fans, come out for live boxing. Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing presents Rockin' Fights. For ticket information, go to starboxing.com or ticketmaster.com. See some of the best young fighters. Star Boxing, Rockin' Fights, it's a knockout.
All right, we're back here in Yonkers on Star Boxing. Steve, he seemed to understand what he just went through, that being Robert Wiggins. I thought he had a pretty good analysis of it. I respectfully disagree with him, though, about the 8 rounds. I thought he was a little fatigued in the last 2 for sure.
It was a learning process, no doubt about that. Robert Wiggins isn't that big a heavyweight. He's only 5'11", 210 or so. I would like to have seen more explosiveness. I would like to have seen him get rid of Knight. I also would like to have seen Knight fight a little more because he has some skill in there. We kept making references to Louisville and Greg Page and Muhammad Ali, but Knight is what he is.
On a curiosity basis, I hope you're all as curious as I am. I wonder who they're talking about him fighting in November that they know about already now.
Well, this was his first time 8 rounds. You got to figure that if he's going to fight on an HBO, it's not going to be against the world's toughest guy yet. He's not ready for that kind of competition.
Might just be a 10-rounder here or a bigger name fight on Star Boxing. And we always have the big names here on the Star. Another great night of boxing. For Steve Farhood, I'm Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal. Good night, Kerry. I'm coming home.